Okay, everyone, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice that may just save your life. One thing you never want to do is underestimate the power of a woman's intuition. On today's case, Mrs. Brown says that her intuition led her to a treasure trove of sexy photos, racy texts, and a secret burner phone. She says she has had enough of her womanizing man and is ready to serve him with divorce papers right here today in my courtroom. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Brown versus Brown.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Brown. Mr. Brown. Mrs. Brown, you say that you are done being humiliated and betrayed by your husband. You've come to divorce court ready to restart your life without your husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Brown, you say your wife's private investigations have caused your marriage more harm than good. You are desperate to save this marriage and your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Brown, you all definitely have some stakes in this case. You've been together for 15 long years, married for 5 years. You have 3 children together. Neither of you have children outside of your relationship. So we are talking about a family that you conscientiously built together. Am I correct, Mrs. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mrs. Brown, why are we in court today?
Well, Your Honor, I stand before you broken, damaged, and completely fed up. Over the last 15 years, Antwan has molded me into a woman I honestly can't even recognize anymore. From the lying, the cheating, the broken promises, I just can't take it. And I came here as a last straw to try to save this marriage. But if we don't, I'm ready to have him served today.
So you brought signed divorce papers to court?
I did.
So, Mr. Brown, you heard Mrs. Brown. She has laid out a case. She says it's either time to shape up or she's ready to walk away.
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you say, sir?
Well, Your Honor, I'm here today to stand before you and take full accountability for my actions and my failed marriage. When it comes to the word perfect, I'm far, far, far from it. But I'll also like to have my wife take accountability for her actions. I feel like that's the only way we can save our marriage. Like, I'm still in love with her. She's also my best friend. Like, we've been together for 15 years, and I'm just not willing to throw it away that easy. So I'm here for guidance and some professional feedback that might save our marriage.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, and I appreciate that, Mr. Brown, why don't you take me back to when you all first met and how we got to this point?
Actually, yeah, so we met on the old school party line. I don't know if you're familiar with it. People used to get on there from different parts of the world, and you would connect like in a chat room, and if you kind of liked how the person sound, you would speak to them personally. And it just so happened that we're both from the Bay Area. We shared similar interests. We talked on the phone for 6 months before even meeting up. And then when we met up, after hanging out, we became intimate. And that's when Antwan wanted to take our relationship to the next step, which I assumed it would be totally monogamous. But even back then, it started off bad.
So it's interesting to me because you all, when you first met, I see in my notes that you said you knew he was a ladies' man, but you thought you could change him.
A part of me did. Growing up, you know, I was real mature for my age. I kind of knew what I wanted. Like, I was very goal-driven.
I love it.
I was a straight-A student, so I knew, like, straight out of high school, I was going to be going off to nursing school. Like, I wanted to have a family.
You were focused.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so now we are committed, we are married, we are forming a family.
Yes.
I'm seeing on my notes that you all decided you wanted to make a fresh start.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like.
Before we moved into the new house, I started seeing Antwan's behavior change. Like, his affection towards me was different. He was, you know, being weird, going to family members' house more often. I like to call out on those things. Intuition is a mother jumper, because if I don't feel something's right, I'm gonna call it out on it. And when I bring that to his attention, he'll deny.
Something's not always wrong, though.
Okay.
But in one case, again, once we moved, this is supposed to be a fresh start. We're married, we're supposed to be committed. Things weren't adding up, and he wanted to clear his schedule for a whole weekend and was like, I need to help a family member move. I'm gonna pack a little bag, because the family member lived about 45 minutes from us. So he was like, instead of wasting gas, I'm gonna just spend the night over there. Me trying to be supportive, like, go ahead, babe, you know, go do that, it's okay, it's not a problem. And he went out there again. He's not checking in, like, hey, babe, I'm here just to let you know you and the kids cool. I don't get that energy from him. So I pop up at his cousin's house because I have GPS, and I find him. I pass by the street in the back seat with another woman in his truck.
Bomba.
And I approach him and I approach her, and I'm like, did you know he was married? How are you talking to him? Because we're on a family
Your
plan.
Honor,
I don't see calls, I don't see texts. So how are you talking to this man? And she was like, girl, she pulled up a phone number. I get to calling it. Ring, the glove box is ringing. Oh, I open the glove box. It's an Obama phone. So a whole second phone.
What's an Obama phone?
So, an Obama phone is basically like if somebody's on, you know, Medi-Cal or something like that, they give you and it wasn't his phone, it was a family member's phone. So if you're on Medi-Cal or food stamps, they give you a cell phone.
Don't be putting that on my phone, President. Don't be calling it no Obama phone. I know the former first lady.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Okay, don't call it no Obama phone. Don't be putting her in the middle of that mess. And don't be putting their family in that. That's not no Obama phone.
No disrespect, but that's what, like, social media calls it. So that's what I've known it to be. I haven't known it to be anything else.
Let's call it a burner phone.
Okay, burner phone. There you go.
Let's call it a burner phone, or a drug dealer phone, or something like that. But don't be putting that on my president and first lady
No
family.
Disrespect.
Thank you, because they ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
No skullduggery meeting somebody in the back of the car, that kind of stuff. No.
Right. So
I
in
gotta
that
represent.
burner phone,
No.
in the burner phone, I happen to snatch it out the glove box. I go through it, and there was text messages, naked photos, messages. So this is like a paper trail of what he's been doing these last couple of months.
Oh, wow.
Naked photos, and I also submitted that evidence today.
She submitted the evidence. Before I look at the evidence.
Can I say something?
Yeah, Mr. Brown.
That day or that time she's talking about, we weren't even together. We were separated. She woke up one morning, right, and read her horoscope. It was a bad horoscope at that. And you know what the horoscope told her? That she needs to be careful when she's being intimate with me and watch out for STDs. So,
Hey, what kind of horoscope you be reading? That's very specific.
we weren't even together, Your Honor. When I had that phone, weren't together. She said she didn't want nothing to do with me. I'm a piece of, you know what, I'm this and I'm that. So I gave myself the green light to talk to other people.
Then let's see what this talking was. What up with you? What you doing? I'm coming through so I can give you that foot rub I owe you. Okay.
This is later, though. This is later.
And I love the fact that you can tell it's a burner phone because it's got 1970 dates on it.
Right, the dates are like weird, yeah.
You know I notice everything.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I do. Okay, good morning, Bonita. That's what Robert calls Chris and Ricardo calls me. How you gonna call
Don't do that, Judge, please.
another woman, Bonita? Nope.
Don't do that.
Let
Judge.
alone asking to rub feet. That's real intimate.
But she
you
didn't-
rub my feet. You claim you don't even like feet.
But she didn't, Your Honor.
But you're
she
out here
claims
wanting to
she's
rub
done
on
with me.
toes.
Okay,
That's crazy.
I'm going to listen to what Mr. Brown said. Mrs. Brown, were you all on a marital break at this time?
No, we were not.
Yes, Your Honor, that's cap. If you don't know what cap means, that's lying. The reason why I was with that girl, because when she popped up, she scared the heck out of that girl.
She should have.
She should, but no, she shouldn't have actually. We weren't together. So why would she pop up? And yeah, you shouldn't be popping up if we're not together. And the first thing she asked that girl was, did he tell you we were married? And you know what the girl said? No, he told me we were separated, because that's what it was.
Mrs. Brown, is that accurate?
It's not. Again, if we have disagreements and you're leaving for one night because you claim you need space or, hey, things are hot, like you're at a 10, we'll come back and have this conversation, we're at a 1, that's stepping out.
She's lying
And if
in your
during
face,
that
Your Honor.
time
My
you're...
question, Mr. Brown made it very clear, in his mind, you all were separated.
Yes.
Were you still living in the home, Mr. Brown?
No, I wasn't living in a home. I was staying at a family member's house.
How long had you been staying at a family member's house?
It was for about...
A day or two.
No, it wasn't a
One
day
moment,
or two.
Mrs. Brown.
It was at least 2 to 4 weeks.
So-
And when we separate, it's normally about 2 to 4 weeks, a month. The longest part we ever went was 2-3 months.
So I
But-
just want to say this. If you all are married, during that 2 to 3 weeks where you are working through issues, why aren't you working on yourselves individually?
Exactly.
No, Mr. Brown.
I know what you're saying. I'm here to
But
take accountability for
why
not-
are you seeking out affection
just
from miscellaneous
insecurities.
women?
Just insecurities, Your Honor. Like, I've been through a lot in my life and dealt with a lot of trauma.
But you're married now and you have children.
I'm married now. Honestly, I didn't put my best foot forward with her in the marriage.
That's fair.
But just all the toxicness that we go through, like, yeah, I can admit, I kind of run away from that because I seen that in my family growing up. So I ran away from it. And when I'm being denied and cussed out and saying I'm not worthy and you don't want me, yeah, I try my best not to talk to other girls, but I guess, I don't know, just insecure and
I think that's very honest. I think that's very honest. Ms. Brown, your man says your intuition can be off sometimes.
And I can give you another example, Your Honor.
Okay.
Of her and this intuition, gut feeling thing. Like, so spiritual person. She woke up one morning, right, and read her horoscope. She's a Leo. She read her horoscope. It was a bad horoscope at that. And you know what the horoscope told her? That she needs to be careful when she's being intimate with me and watch out for STDs. So,
Dang, what kind of horoscope you be reading? That's very specific.
That's a great question. I had to work 12-hour shifts to take care of the kids and try to give her the love and affection she needs too.
Did you share with her that you were also hurting?
Yeah, she just think I'm numb to everything. And the only reason I bring up my past because the stuff, the trauma I've been through has made me numb. That's why I cheat. I couldn't convince her that I wasn't talking to nobody, so she wanted to go get tested for all STDs, so she made an appointment on both our behalves and embarrassed herself because those STD checks came all back negative.
But that wouldn't embarrass me. That would make me feel a little more secure about intimacy so that I would know that I'm being safe.
Yeah, but it wasn't put like that. I understand what you're saying. I feel like she could have led with that. You know what? I do want to be intimate with you, Twan, but I feel like we need to go get tested first. But her thing was, oh, I had a bad horoscope.
Mrs. Brown, you used the horoscope as an excuse. What was going on? There's a clear breach of trust. You have every reason not to trust your husband because he's not been proven to be trustworthy. That's just the truth, Mr. Brown. But what you can't do is allow his character to influence your behavior. You have to make the determination on what you're going to put up with and what you're not going to put up with. And just like he said, if you're not able to get through what has gone on in your past, then this marriage is never going to work.
Right. And that's what brings me to my final straw with him. Again, these last couple of years have been hectic. I actually had a late-term miscarriage.
Oh, my goodness.
I was 14 weeks. And during that time, when I needed my husband, I needed him to be there for me. And it broke me to see him being able to be there for other women. So just over time, when you're giving that effort and energy that I'm dying and begging for, you give it so easily to somebody that you don't know, that crushes me. And in the midst of that, I got hurt from work. I've had multiple hand surgeries where I'm not even able to use my dominant hand. And when I should be able to count on you as the sole provider of the family to step up and be there for me, you rather be with other women.
Oh, thank you. That's not the case. And, you know, it hurts that she's bringing up our miscarriage because, like, it really hurt me too. And she never stops to see how I feel about it. Like, I had to work 12-hour shifts to take care of the kids and, you know, try to give her the love and affection she needs too. But
did you share with her that you were also hurting?
yeah, all the time. But she just think I'm numb to everything. And the only reason I bring up my past because the trauma I've been through has made me numb. That's why I cheat. That's why I have lied. That's why, you know, like.
You all are damaging your children. I'm going to be honest with you, because they see this toxicity. You know, initially, when I first started hearing the case, I thought, Mrs. Brown, that you were just in the middle of a a marriage where you married a dog, to be honest with you, because multiple cheating. That's what I heard initially. And then with Mr. Brown sharing he has really just never dealt with the trauma of his own family upbringing. And in my opinion, not learned how to be in a real relationship.
I just want her to be able to control her emotions. We can't talk about anything or get through anything without her cursing, name calling, disrespect. So that's when I fall back.
My suggestion is, if in fact you think there's something here and you want to fight for it, you're going to need to put some guidelines and restrictions in place. I see you have divorce papers with you.
I do.
I'd like to see if they're in order. Robert, please.
Sure.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Give me one moment, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Thank you very much. These papers have been properly signed and are ready to be served. Mrs. Brown, I'd love to hear you tell your husband exactly what you need. And Mr. Brown, please, don't interrupt her.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you need?
When I'm feeling insecure, I need you to reassure me. I don't need you to leave me on loop wondering if you're dealing with somebody else. Because that's going to trigger me. That's going to make me want to attack you because I don't feel safe. You're supposed to be my safe space.
I do want to be your safe space, but it takes two to tango. Like, you have to talk to me like I'm a man. I know I made little boy mistakes in the past, but if you keep bringing up the past, I will never be able to have a future with you. I will never be able to correct my mistakes. I'm going to therapy. I signed this up for couples counseling. So you telling Judge that I'm not making an effort, it's crazy to me. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't love you or want to work this marriage out.
I didn't hear her say you weren't making an effort. I didn't hear that. She was talking about what you need to do for her, not what you need to do for you. If I say to you, the court orders you 6 months of marital counseling, and nobody in those 6 months gets to walk out, nobody gets to take a break, nobody gets to respond in anger, and if anybody breaks that trust, this marriage is over. Can you agree to that?
I can.
Mr. Brown, can you agree to that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the court will give you your counseling sessions and ask that you follow up with us and let us know.
I definitely will, thank you.
I'd like to keep this family together, but I can't do it.
I just want to say that, before marriage and like when we first met, I just want to apologize to you in front of the judge. Like, I know I hurt you and I was wrong and I didn't do right by you and not being a great example for our kids. So, like, I really need to get it together.
We both do.
Remember that fresh start we talked about? It didn't start then, but it starts now.
We got a lot of work to do.
You're gonna be all right. You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, baby.
We gotta keep our promise. Kids deserve better.
Yes. Give me up.
They have a long road to go.
These kids nowadays, they don't know how to fix things. They just want to break up and do their own thing.
And when you're in a relationship, in a marriage, there's never any your own thing anymore.
No.
It's y'all.
Yes. Put the work in.
I don't know if they've got it. I hope so, though.
Made in Georgia.